Mary, before we go, let me ask you a couple of questions on what's happening in the world today. Obviously, Britain leaving the EU. Are you expecting to make major changes or any changes in terms of moving people out of London and into the continental European area?
You know, it's very early days on Brexit and what that means for European issues, passporting of how money is managed and flows of funds, and so that's very important. From a markets perspective, I think it's just very important to recognize, number one, it wasn't traumatic on the markets. Yes, there was a lot of volatility, but things came out, you know, very, very smoothly on the end, both for companies that were moving the money around as well for the markets in general, and so it'll be a long time to tell. But it's also important to remember that while there are many very scary and terrible things that are happening in the world today, you have to separate that from how it affects the actual economy and the stock markets that people invest in. And generally speaking, aside from, you know, major world wars or the 1973 Israeli-Arab embargo that caused, you know, oil prices to quadruple, very few wars, the Korean War, the U.S. invasion of Kuwait or Iraq or Russia, issues that they had locally, none of those things actually have long-term impact on the stock market. They can have short-term impact, but it generally reverses course. So I think it's important to separate those two issues when you think about investing in long-term markets.
Are you allocating capital in any particular way right now? 7 straight days of record highs. How do you allocate capital when you're talking about $2.3 trillion in clients' assets, Mary? You want to buy this rally?
Well, our clients are in for the long term, and they continue to invest and think about what life is going to look like in 5-10 years from now. So short-term issues don't drastically affect asset allocation. In fact, post the days of Brexit, we actually saw net inflows into our European mutual funds. And so I think people are thinking long-term, and they're trying to take advantage of when they see short-term disruptions in the marketplace, and that's what we're here to help them with.
Which is exactly the point of your letter, not go short-term. So we appreciate that. Mary, thanks so much for weighing in on these important issues. We appreciate it. Good to see you.
Thank you. You too, Maria.
Mary Callahan, Erdoes there, head of JPMorgan Asset Management.